Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm super busy. And I'm owing you an apology for yesterday.
Apology accepted. Not a huge problem. It was a confusing, but not. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, no, it's not like me. Yeah, I just got very focused on some other fires that were happening. But hey, let's focus on you for good 20 minutes or so. Okay.
Yeah. So you got my video there?
I asked you to send me something. Is that and the one that you did you send something this morning?
No, I sent something about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Because the last lesson we spent like an hour and a half on Eden, and I got like
I
3 minutes. So you said send me a video.
I know, I did. I know. So let me find it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not gonna be under Jimmy.
Average bar band, maybe.
Got it. I think I got it. I seen part of the song at the end.
Yeah. It's like it's under 5 minutes.
I think I got it right here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna see if I can just drop a file on my desktop. And I can't. I'm gonna go here and click on it, see where it takes me. Okay, I got a video. That's cool. All right. This is the first time I've seen this, Jim.
All right, you want to watch it now? And
I do. Of course I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. All right. Very cool. Just sorting out my windows here. All right. You go away. And you go away. Okay. And I feel like I want to share my screen with you, Jim. So you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. All right. That's a little better. I don't know how you'll be able to hear this, how well you'll be able to hear this through the.
Well, I heard it so many times when I was trying to edit it that I'm
actually. I guess you've heard it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, time. All right, stop. All right, so your Quack and release onset. In regards to the workflow, the hyper compressed is good.
Okay.
The puppy and whimper behind it. It's good. Your cry mode, yeah. So you're very conscious of cry mode and you're engaging it. You're thinning the vocal folds on that a little bit. Okay, actually a lot bit. That's good. That's good. But the challenge is that what needs to get better is you're a little erratic on the keyboard. You're a little all over the place by my standards, which is a standard that I want you to try to get to, in sense that think you started off on the F, and then you sort of creeped up to an F sharp, and then you went down to a augmented fourth.
Oh, this was like highlights. Like this isn't like a nose. I edited my routine because you said show me your best stuff.
Oh, okay, okay. No
So
wonder.
It's also a little disturbing that those were my best ones, but that was the best I could do. I mean, I worked on it for like a week and a half, and it's like, wow, I thought I could do it better than this. But
no, come on, stop being so hard on yourself. Right. Now I understand why it was all over the keyboard. That's fine. And that is what I asked you to do. Again, like I said, the hypercompression position was good. The cry is very good. That's not an easy thing to do. Those require some funky motor skills. You got to practice that, right? Do you have your book available? What you need for your training program?
I have the book right over here.
Okay, it's in the book, but it might be easier and better to just go to the training page.
Okay.
So go to the Quack and Release Onset training on the training page.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to go to the training page, boop, where it says training. Okay, you see all this? Right?
Yeah.
You need to just clean up your routine. And I think what we might want to do is just get back to following the workflow, okay, which is on the lesson. Okay, so we're going to go over here to the TVS onset. Here's all the onsets, but these are lectures. Okay, so if I scroll down a little bit more, I believe we're going to get, oh, I'm sorry. No, this is training. So this is training. My apologies. All right, so we're going to go TVS onsets. And we're going to go to the track and release onset. Oh, excuse me, the Quack and Release onset. My apologies. The Quack and Release onset. Okay. All right, and we're going to go down here and we're going to look at this workflow. That's the guy you need right there. Can you get on this page, please?
Yeah.
I can, I'll throw you the linky.
Training page, right?
Yeah, training page.
Training page, Quack and Release, TVS specialized onsets.
There you go, buddy.
Those are lectures or?
Those are, well, it's the training page. So that's all
Okay.
training. It's not
Okay.
lecture. The
Quack
lecture,
and Release onset.
yeah, the lectures for the onsets are over at the lecture page.
Okay.
And what I want you
The
to do,
Q&R onset workflow.
that's it, baby. You've seen this before, haven't you?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great. So this is it. So I want you to follow this. We need to clean up the workflow.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Number one, open the embouchure, open the glottis. Okay. Now, when we start with the open glottis position here, okay, I may have clarified this for you before in the past, and I have on a few occasions in some videos. It can be a little confusing, but I will clarify again now. When we are below the passaggio, the vocal break, when we're in the chest voice, this open glottis position, starting with an open glottis position, opening the vocal folds, is less necessary.
Okay.
But if you did that, if you did start with an open glottis in the chest voice, so for example, something like, there's I'm going to say, oh, with falsetto, if you did that, it'd be okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just want to, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm just pointing out that that starting the Quack and Release onset workflow with an open glottis position is more relevant above the vocal break in the head voice. Okay.
Okay.
On my chest voice, it's fine. No harm in that. But if I'm in my head voice, it's critical.
Okay.
Does that make sense? In regards to step one, of the workflow. Are we clear on that?
Yes. Open glottis is essential above, as you get into passaggio and above the passaggio. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's essential is the key word.
Okay.
When you're training the quack and release onset. So the quack and release onset, the benefits of the quack and release onset are to build the motor skills of vocal fold closure. Okay, it's it's building the strength of the closure and the coordination and the motor skills for bringing the vocal folds together. That's great. It's a wonderful thing. It has a very high, powerful therapeutic benefit for all of us. It's great for singers. But the other thing is in regards to these, I'm in the weeds a little bit here, but I want to point out, in regards to these onsets being applicable for just good old-fashioned vocal therapy and strengthening the voice, the one onset in these TVS onsets that crosses over to speech therapy the best is this.
Is quack and release.
Yeah, because it gives that fundamental adduction closure movement.
Okay, I've definitely quack release is my number one exercise to focus on. Now I remember in the private lessons you had told me at some point that you made up the anti-choke workflow, and it was start with the it was the Greenwood anti-choke workflow, right? And you said start with the like a yawn, but even before the whimper was kind of a. Now that's the open glottis, the yawn, or am I confusing something?
Yeah, I mean, an open glottis just means in the chest voice a windy tone, in the head voice falsetto. That's just it's just wind. It's wind blowing through the glottis.
Okay.
The glottis is the space between the vocal cords.
Understood. That's
all. Okay, glottis is fancy voice lesson talk for the space between the vocal folds. It's actually not tissue. Like it's not the fold itself, it's the space. And we call that glottis.
Understood.
All right. When the glottis is open, there's wind blowing through it. Right? And when we do that in the chest voice, it's when we do it in the head voice, it's and in the head voice, it has a special name, which is called what, Jim?
In the head voice has a special name. Oh my God.
Come on, Jim.
Wait, no, I'm confused. I got confused.
Vocal mode, falsetto. It's called falsetto.
Oh, falsetto. Okay, you had just said that, so I thought you were looking for something different. Yeah.
And it's written in your notes here. Okay. All right. So that's a little bit of lesson about the quack and release onset, which is really super great. Anybody's watching this, you do this workflow, you do this thing right here, I guarantee you, you will build very strong vocal fold closure motor skills, and that's going to help you sing better, like mad. And Jim's been doing it. Okay, Jim, let's focus on Jim.
All right.
Onset workflow, Jim. We're going to go ahead and do the open glottis position, regardless if we're down or up. Okay, just to make a decision to move forward with it, so that we can remove that confusion that I was sharing with you. But now you're my student, and when you understand that. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to match frequency. Okay, and then we're going to engage respiration. Pretty simple. Okay. All right, so you started on the F. So I'll just start on the F. F is technically in the head voice. It's low, but it's in the head voice. But let's work with it, okay? It's a hard note to sing, by the way. That's
I have noticed that.
Yeah, you noticed that? People watching this, so in the head voice, honestly, the higher we go in the head voice, you would think maybe the more difficult it is. That's not actually the case. In the head voice, above the vocal break, it's the lower notes closer to the passaggio, closer to the break, that are the most difficult notes of all. And that would be, in fact, F, the first note that Jim started on, and F sharp for min. Okay, so watch me. F. Head voice, so I will open my glottis. I'm going to match the pitch. I'm I'm going to engage respiration. Pretty simple movement. That's it. It seems like no big deal, but when you put it in the context of a workflow, it has to be done. Okay, so.
Okay, that would be called wind and release. What you just did, wind and release.
No.
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 Okay, because I thought because okay, I'm getting lost then because
Jim.
Yes.
If we were to go to the wind and release onset, Jim's confused about another onset that it's about wind. And it's called the wind and release onset. Okay, and the wind and release onset is just simply you start with wind. You start with an H. Okay. So I understand your confusion, Jim. So a wind and release onset is a true onset. Okay, I mean doing this. I'm doing this in preparation for the quack and release onset. It's no wind and release onset I want to sign up for. Okay. Okay. A wind and release onset has closure. It kicks ass.
Okay.
Like it's a real note. That's a wind and release onset. What this is open the glottis and blow some wind. Okay.
Okay.
So stay focused on the quack and release workflow.
Okay.
All right. Open embouchure, open glottis. Here we go. Again, step one. Okay, I'm deciding to go with 8 as my vowel. Add this step when above the passaggio into the head voice. Okay, see there, I point that out. I got to read my own notes. All right, step 2. Jim, are you with me? You understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Step 2 in the workflow. Close the embouchure. But maintain an open gloss. That's it. Now pay attention. That's perfect. That's it. So
Okay.
you're gonna close the embouchure, but still keep the glottis open. Okay. So I'll do 1 through 2. Jim, your turn. Okay. Let's stabilize that. You hear it sort of squirrely a little bit? Let's stabilize that. Okay. How would you stabilize it?
That's a good. I anchor the tongue.
Yes.
Okay. I've been trying to cry and anchor the tongue, and sometimes it goes crazy, and then some maybe a few minutes later it starts to level out.
Do it. Jim, a little better. Yeah. Again, let's remove some of that squirreliness. Leverage the tongue, maybe blow a little more air. You have a couple different levers that you can pull. Get that thing stabilized. Jim, great. Let's go to step 3.
Okay.
All right. Step 3, engage. Isolate and contract the twanger musculature and configure to quack vocal mode with a highly compressed me, me, me. Let's read that again. Now we're going to engage, which were I to go back in and rewrite this page, I might say adduct. Okay, close the vocal folds, okay? Adduct, engage adduction would be better here. Engage adduction.
Okay.
Engage adduction, isolate and contract the twang musculature so you engage vocal fold closure, vocal fold adduction, and configure the quack vocal mode with a highly compressed me, 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 me. Watch. All 3 steps. And Do it again. Do it again, like Tai Chi. Here we go. Do it again. I will do it again. Okay, watch me do it one more time.
Okay, could you your noise suppression setting is because it's cutting out a little bit in the middle?
Yeah, darn it.
Because I know you're saving this video.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. Let me fix it. Dive in and do the damn audio settings again. All right. Audio down here. The compression, we're going to put it to low. Right, Jim?
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your help with that. Again, all 3 steps. That is right. That is correct. That's the proper movement. Now, you'll notice that on your hyper compressed me, it's still a little bit windy. All right. You know, see how we're isolating the problem as we go through this? It's a little bit windy. You know, we don't want that. So do it again. Step 1 through 3. And when you get to your me, come in high and tight. Better, Jim. Better, Jim.
Okay.
Now, the reason we're doing the workflow is to clean it up. Okay, if every step is not perfectly clean, we don't get to the outcome. Okay, and we still want better compression on step 3. We want a better me, but the flow is working really great. Like it's working for you. You're getting there. Do it again. Leverage the tongue and give that me hell. I want you to give more. Just get behind it. Because you're in cry mode, you're not going to hurt yourself. So just torque on it. Same as the last. It's good workflow. It's the right movements. We just get to get that darn vocal folds to close. Let's put a little soft glottal attack in here. This is not on the workflow. I'm just intervening. Let's put a little glottal attack on that. Let's go that F. Let's smack it around a little bit. Okay, with cry mode. Watch me. Watch me. You hear I'm coming in from the top down?
I didn't, but now that you say it, I get it. Yeah.
Yes, you did. Listen. You hear that? I mean, it's
yes. Now I hear it. Now I hear it. Yeah.
So I'm whimpering into it. Do a whimpery glottal attack into the E. In some sense, do an attack and release onset into the E. And let's see if we can get compression there. La. Don't drop your jaw. Keep it isolated. Jim? it's kind of getting there, but it's not going to work if you drop your jaw. You can't do an E with your jaw down. You can't go. I mean, you can, but in a different context, like when we're singing a classical song and we want to do we're singing a classical song, we have to have an open oral cavity, so we learn how to retract our tongue. We do E's, classical E's, by retracting our tongue, and we get an E. That's a whole different story.
Okay.
That's singing E's in a certain genre at certain frequencies. It's a technique thing for singing. This is training. Okay, so I want you to get horizontal. E, 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 E. Don't drop your jaw. Do it again, please. There you go. There you go. Do you see how that's connecting a little more?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Get it. Good. Good. And when you're in, don't let go. Don't do this. And weaken the position. Hold on to that position and follow through. Do it again. Okay. Good. Do it again. You're a little flat. Tune up. Tune up. You're a little flat. Okay, now go through the first 3 steps in the workflow again and see if we can get through the workflow, if we can get to that position, which is ever so slightly more compressed. All right. So take a lesson from this. We got in the weeds a little bit there, but it's an example of how the onsets can be used as tools if you know how to use them and you understand them. Okay, so something you did, Jim, don't forget, to help get your compression is you sort of stepped aside and you smacked in some glottal attacks for 5 minutes, and then you came back to the workflow to build on the quack and release motor skills. Are we understanding that?
Yes.
Okay. So for a moment, so you have a rubber hammer. You have like one of those soft rubber hammers that you use when you're hammering stuff in the house and you don't want to hurt the siding in the house, but you still need a hammer. They're kind of made of like hard plastic or rubber.
Yes.
Maybe in those. Okay.
For hammering in frets.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, one of those. So you're working on those, and that's what you're doing in phase 3 of the quack and release onset, because you're coming at it from a different angle, a different context. You're coming at it in sort of a soft, movement. You're romancing it in a sense. Okay. All right. And then what I said is, you know what, Jim, put the what do you call that kind of hammer? Does it have a name? Do you know?
I think they're called in fretting. I think they're called soft blow hammers, like the plastic.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. So put the soft blow hammer down for a moment and grab the steel hammer and hit it harder. Just to get more blunt force. Okay. That's glottal attacks. That's what glottal attacks will do for us. All right, but you need to know how and when to do them in the training to get their benefit. All right, in this case, we put the soft hammer down, we grabbed the steel hammer, and we smacked it for 5 minutes to get a result, to get it moving. You understand? Do you see what we did there?
Yeah, kind of waking it up.
That's right.
Up. Yeah.
Exactly. Don't forget that lesson. Okay. So, now back to our elegant workflow, please. First 3 steps on the F. Go. Yeah. Yes. At the very beginning of that, it was fully compressed and then it weakened a little bit. Follow through, Jim. I think one of your challenges, Jim, is that you subconsciously, and all students do this to some extent. This is a very common thing that I see. Out of the gates, in the first second, students will often be in the right position. They'll have the compression, whatever it is that we're working on these onsets or whatever. Out of the gates, Everything will be just right. And then what happens is, kind of because you're not paying attention, you sort of land there and then you take your eye off the ball and it just sort of weakens. Okay. But it doesn't have to, Jim.
Yes.
So I want you to focus on, you gotta maintain that same level of compression and muscle and tongue leveraging, all of that. You gotta maintain that entire onset package. We call it an onset package, don't we, Jim?
Yes.
All the elements that we're talking about here, all the elements that are, wrapped about in this workflow sequence we give them a name, and it's called an onset package. All right. So you got to maintain all of that all the way through for 5 seconds or however long you're going to hold it. And if we take that lesson, if we take what I'm describing there, and we throw it into the context of singing songs, especially in the head voice, it's exactly the same thing. When you're singing above the head voice and you're doing this really difficult stuff, and when you're belting in the head voice, it's a lot of physical exertion to maintain the phonation package, okay, above the passaggio. There's people that can do it, but they can't do it for a long time because they get tired. And then there's people that can do it for a long time because they built the strength. It's just physical endurance building, okay? Again, I'm in the weeds, but I'm giving it context to the singing. Jim, do it again, please. Quack and release workflow. Quack and release workflow. You're doing great. Keep going. One more time, please. We want to buzz. We want to. We want to hear and feel the zzz. It needs to sizzle. No wind, no puffiness. Go. Okay, good. Jim?
Yes.
I'm really proud of you. You're there. You're almost there. You're on the 5-yard line.
Okay.
We heard the connectivity, the perfect connectivity 2 tries before. Okay. You're almost there. Jim?
Yes.
In the shower, in the car, walking down the streets of Manhattan, on a boring date, when you get up in the morning, you're Mr. Buzz-a-lot.
Okay.
You're Mr. Me. Okay?
Okay.
Jim, repeat after me. I'm Mr. Me.
I am Mr. Me.
Yes!
Okay. Hey, I'm happy that you said the 5-yard line. I'm like, oh, wow, this has been a long slog. I changed since I made that video that I sent you. I changed, and I don't know if this is a good idea, but I was getting frustrated about F4, F sharp 4, and G4 because those are that's like the weakest part of my whole range. And I just started warming up with track and track, 4 minutes, and then just immediately going to quack and release on those notes,
Great.
and just like trying to, man, I just feel like if I could just unlock it, it would open up my whole voice,
Yep. That's it. That's the same journey I'm on, and the same journey all male singers have been on to one extent or another. And those that really end up getting a nice, clean, connected registration between the registers in a way that it truly doesn't only sound like one voice, it really does become one voice. Are those that came to that point? Are those that in the shower, in the car, were absolutely obsessed with not being defeated by F4 and F sharp 4. You know, I mean, seriously. So if you can get E, F, F sharp, G, E, F, F sharp, G, F sharp, F, E. If you work on those 4 notes like a nerd in the shower, in the car, walking down the street, with the right techniques, with techniques that actually build the strength and the motor skills, like what we're doing right here. And I have to say, I'm really glad that we're on the workflow.
Okay.
We've been a little bit half-assed, a little bit sloppy, just a touch recently. And I'm proud of myself. I'm actually proud of this. I'm looking at this thing and I did it 5 years ago and it's great. This is great stuff, man.
Well, it's working. It's working.
I know. So, anyways, Jim, winning the battle, winning the war against E4, F4, F sharp 4 as a male singer that wants to get above the passaggio is a big part of the journey.
Okay.
Talk to Sergio Calafiora. Talk to, other Draven. Talk to other really great singers. They'll all tell you the same thing. Okay. And there's a moment, there's a time in the training you look back and you realize, yeah, for about 6 months, I just was Mr. Me on an F and an F sharp all day long, Mr. Me until I got it done. All right. So anyways, Jim, I made my point. I know you get it.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next step.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going to shape a horizontal embouchure, which is already somewhat horizontal, but we're going to open up a little bit. When working through the Quack and Release Onset workflow, it is important to make sure that the glottis does not blow open and release air. That's just sort of what we've been talking about. What that translates to is what I've been telling you. You hang on to it. You follow through with all of that musculature engagement, everything that you've engaged. You hang on to it for a good 5 seconds. Don't be conscious of not letting go and letting it weaken. Okay, that's what this is. That's what this is trying to say. It's important to make sure that the glottis and all the other musculature and everything you put together in the Onset package do not blow open and weaken. Okay, the glottis must remain compressed. The vocal folds must remain closed, compressed as you shape the embouchure. So now we've set up this compression position. That's a good start. Now that we have the compression from the first 3 steps, we take the fourth step is we drop the jaw a little bit, we shape the tongue, and we begin to shape the vowel. We create the product, which is an A or an R, whatever that vowel is, okay, with beautiful forward resonance. Okay, so 4, 1 through 3 is preparation. 4 is when we actually sort of release the product. We start seeing a vowel. We start hearing a vowel emerge. Watch. Again. I ran out of air. So because when we add more steps in the workflow, it takes a little more time. So as you add more steps, you might want to accelerate, speed up your workout just so you don't run out of air. I'll do a little faster now. That's a pretty decent low F, and it's a good one. You take that sound that I just gave you, and you just snip it on the ends. You drop that in. That's a tone you could use in a song. That's a singing tone. Okay, Jim. So there's a workflow inside the workflow. Okay, subflow workflow. Drop the jaw, bite upper lip, right, Jim? Show everybody how you do that. Yeah, that's it, buddy. That's perfect. That's perfect. Maintain the preferred training vowel.
A as in steak and eggs.
That's
A.
right, baby. That's right. And really, I want to encourage everybody. You can train any vowel. If you trained any vowel, it would be helpful. Okay. So, but you will see in the TVH training system a bias towards A as in steak and eggs and ah. Okay. As in father-in-law. Okay. Why? I could go into a big explanation. I don't want to do that right now, but it just so happens that A and A are, if you have to make a choice, they're the vowels that you want to train with first. They help develop certain fundamental skills and strength with the mechanism in ways that some of the other vowels do. But don't let that take you down a path of never ever training the other vowels. Jim, make sure you train an oo, train an ah once in a while. Okay, it's important, but the program's big enough already. I couldn't do this for every single vowel. There's 10 training vowels, and it would just be like way too overwhelming. Let's just focus on these two. All right. So you're going to release through the vowel, and Jim, I'm assuming you're going to go for an A, and
Yes.
then here we are again. Maintain the vowel and vocal fold closure. Don't let your voice get windy. Don't weaken. Okay. And then step 5. At this point, you're pretty much 90% there. If you wanted to go a little bit further and anchor a little bit more, you would anchor and dampen the larynx, okay, to add a little bit of warmth. You know sort of what that's about, Jim. And then tune. Tune just means now you're there. You just tweak it. Can I make it a little warmer? Can I make it a little bit prettier? Am I a little flat? Do I just bring it up? Do the final touches. That's all what that means. Okay, watch me do the whole thing. And then I said, that is a Quack and release onset that takes me on a journey, and in the end, I've got arguably a pretty darn good A on a low F. Jim, guess what?
What?
It's your turn.
All right.
And this is a challenge that we've had with you. I know you get the workflow. Jim, we've got to get to an A.
Oh. Man.
You're kind of hanging out on a compressed E all the way through. And I'm not convinced it has to be that way. Get to the A.
Okay.
Steak and eggs, yay! A. Jim?
Yeah, I've probably been doing that for months.
No, you always do that. Honestly. You hang out on E's way too long, Jim. You've got to. I think it's partly because you're just not paying attention to your vowel. When you get to the end of your journey, you're not asking yourself critically. You're not critically asking yourself when you get to the end of this workflow, when you get to the journey, is this in fact A, or is it really an E? I don't think you're doing that.
I'm not, to tell you the truth, until you said it. I was like, I've been thinking about,
other stuff.
I'm sure.
I know. You're thinking about all this other stuff, and that's fair. That's fair. There's a lot to keep in mind. When you're training this way, in the beginning, it's very much a multitask experience, isn't it, Jim? You're trying to remember everything. It really is a big deal. And that's one of the, you're kind of a beginner or a novice at this workflow stuff. If you're still conscious and you're still consciously, your self-talk is consciously saying, shit, this is multitasking. There's a lot to remember. If you're still saying that when you're training this, you're still sort of in that beginner novice stage of getting this down. But there will come a time, if you keep going at it, there'll come a time where you'll just rip right through this, and you won't be thinking about the workflow anymore. Okay.
Okay.
It's just like a golf swing. When as a beginner and you go to your coach, there's get the grip right, look downfield, whatever, don't break your elbow, all that stuff. There's a workflow to it. Okay. And when you're a beginner, you're thinking a lot about that. What happens after you've been doing it for 90 days or 6 months, Jim? You've been working on your golf swing. What happens? Are you still
well,
always?
hopefully it becomes much more ingrained,
Right. I mean, you're far less often are you conscious of the workflow anymore, because you've sort of gotten past that. You could go back to it to refine your training. You could go back to it to clean up, just like we're doing today. We're going back to the fundamentals here to get cleaned up a bit, and that's a great idea to do that once in a while. But if you're with your buddies and you got $100 bet on the game on a Saturday afternoon, you're not doing this. You're just going to step up and swing, right? Okay. Right. Or in our case, if you're singing. All right. So anyway, Jim, back to you. And you've got the shape in A. Pay attention to what you're doing at the end. Go.
Okay.
All right. I'm not going to share my screen for a second. I want you to do it again because I want to see if you are tracting your tongue.
Yeah, I'm trying to look into the camera.
Yeah, you should. By the way, yeah, Jim, and people that are watching this, you notice the embouchure, how we shape our mouth, and we're talking about leveraging the tongue. Some of these techniques, you will 3x your progress. You will increase your progress and your training and your results if you simply put your eyes on a mirror. If you simply put your eyes on a mirror, and in our case with Jim, you put your eyes on the monitor and you watch yourself. You stare at your mouth and your embouchure, and you fixate on it because what happens is if you're not looking at it, you're not conscious of it. And if you're not conscious of it, what happens is the tongue retracts, the jaw goes, the compression relaxes, everything unravels and gets weak and shits out. Okay, so Jim, just again, keep your eyes on your tongue and your leveraging. I think you might be retracting your tongue, which would be messing up your vowel. Okay. The workflow, you're what you understand the lesson and the workflow is great. I give you an A+. And that's
the first ever. That's the first time.
Is it? Well, it's only because actually I don't think that's true. That's not true. It's not true that that's the first time you did the workflow great. That's not true at all.
No, the A+.
That might be true because I give a lot of A minuses, don't I? I'm a tough cookie. I give a lot of A minuses. Yeah, but if I hear an A+, I'm going to be fair. A+ in the sense of your execution of the technique and the workflow. Okay, so let's stop and just appreciate how important it is that we go back to the fundamentals, we go back to the workflows, and we clean up things and we don't do things half-assed. Okay, so that's a good lesson for both of us. Okay, because I'm your coach and I've allowed you to sort of let's do Quack release onsets, and we were sort of not being as disciplined about it. Okay, today we are, and we're getting it's reminding me of how important these workflows are. Okay, all right. No, but still, you're not in the end zone yet. You've got to get that E into an A, Jim.
Oh,
So
really? That wasn't
no.
Okay.
So let's do some onsets that are a little bit more aggressive for the moment. Quack and release is a slow process. It's this thing that builds motor skills. It's this thing that cleans things up. It's this thing that we see that the benefits that it's doing. But now I'm off the lesson of the Quack and release onset workflow at the moment, and I'm on just sort of, I'm riffing now to see if I can get Jim to get an A. We need to come up with some ways to get you to feel and hear an A on the F. Okay, so first thing that comes to my mind is back to the glottal attack, back to the attack and release onset. Anchor your tongue, please. Shape your embouchure, monsieur.
Hey.
Yeah, that's right. So watch. Remember, whimper from the top down, otherwise you'll hurt yourself. A glottal attack can be fatiguing. You could potentially hurt yourself. It's super rare and almost impossible, but it's possible. Folks, when you're doing an onset, a glottal attack, which is just an aggressive start into a vowel. Okay, but you'll be totally safe if you cry into it. You gotta get into a cry mode, and then you're totally safe, and you can work it hard. So, Jim, we're gonna do attack and release onsets on an A into the F with a puppy whimper on the front end. Watch me, Jim. 5. Hey! That sucked. I felt a burp coming on. Hang on, let me try again. Hey! Yeah! There you go, Jim. 5, attack and release onsets into the 8, please.
Hey.
It's slightly better. It's moving away from E into something. But it's still got a little bit of A. It's still in the E spectrum. We're still seeing a little bit of E coloration in there. Try again, Jim. A. Steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs.
A. I get it. I understand. I see what's going on. I should have noticed this earlier. Jim?
Yes.
You know what a diphthong is?
I think it's two vowel sounds in one word.
Good. It's good. Jim? So when we do, yeah, you're right, Jim. That is. A diphthong is when we're shaping, if you put it in slow motion, when we're shaping a vowel in speech and singing and in training sometimes, when we're shaping a vowel, we may say that we're doing an A, but what happens is because of language, because English and languages have diphthongs, we tend to close the end of the vowel with another vowel other than that primary vowel. So in some sense, you would have 95% the vowel you're really consciously trying to communicate, A, because you want to say steak and eggs. So you know that you have to communicate A, the sound color of A, to communicate that. So that's 95% of the timeline of steak and eggs. Okay, it's A. However, in order for steak and eggs to truly sound like steak and eggs in English, we've been trained since we were babies to add a diphthong at the end of the A. So that final 5% actually is another vowel.
So I'm going like staya or something like that.
Oh, Jim, yes, something like that. You're understanding exactly what I'm talking about, okay? However, it's that diphthong. So what Jim was just describing, folks, is stay. He was imagining that the diphthong would be the that last little vowel at the end to make the communication complete. The only thing that wasn't correct about that, Jim, you understand what a diphthong is, but it's not an The diphthong on steak and eggs, think about it. You tell me. Slow it down. You tell me
Oh,
what
steak. Stay.
Yeah, watch. Yeah, right. Watch. Stay. So we put it in slow motion, folks. You don't hear the diphthong when I'm talking like this. Okay, it's really miniature, but when you slow down, you do. Steak and eggs. Steak and eggs. Steak and eggs. The diphthong on steak and eggs is what, Jim?
I think it's an E.
Come on. It's Jim. Do you think it is? Come on.
I hope that is.
And eggs. Tell me. Try it. Slow down.
Steak. Yeah, it sounds like an E to me as it going into the
E, man. It's an E. It's obviously an E. It's an E.
Yeah.
So folks, the diphthong is that little tiny touch of E at the end of steak and eggs. And it exists in all language. Diphthongs exist in all languages. And just some more geeky stuff. The diphthong often is, this is interesting, the diphthong often is, it's not always is, but most of the time is a closed vowel. It's typically an E, in English at least. It's E or an U or an That's just the way the language is set up. That's the way it works. So you can take intel, you can take information from that knowledge, and when you apply it to singing, what that means is sometimes if you're singing a lyric that has an E or an U as a diphthong, which are closed vowels, Jim, help everybody understand the closed vowel. What are closed vowels easier to sing, or are closed vowels more difficult to sing, Jim?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Jam.
I mean, the closed vowels is a E, so I believe that's a much harder to sing.
You believe right. So closed vowels are more difficult to sing. They're literally physically more closed. E, U, the mouth, I'm sure it's more closed, and it's more closed in the upper vocal tract as well. Okay. Anyways, that's geeky. That's interesting. But if you're singing a song that has closed vowels, E as the primary vowel, for sure it's going to be more difficult. Any singer will tell you that. Any singer will tell you that when they sing E's and Oo's, it's more difficult. And they may not understand why, because they don't have a coach and this and that, but that's the case. But even if the diphthong is an E or an Oo, that could be tripping you up when you're singing. All right, so those are diphthongs. Back to Jim and Jim's lesson.
Okay.
So Jim, what happens is you're going in, you're closing to the diphthong, and you're following through on the diphthong. All right, so watch. I'm not doing this. That's what you're doing, Jim.
Okay.
You're closing into an E, and the reason you're closing into E is just simply out of habit by speaking English for 50 years. That's all it is. That's all. It's just out of habit, okay? So you want to hold a pure vowel. A pure vowel means a vowel without a diphthong. Okay. Actually, that had a little bit of diphthong in it. That's a pure vowel. All right. Not always, but when we're training Not when we're singing, but because when we're singing, we're communicating a language. We have to have diphthongs. But when we're training just vowel colors, it's a good idea most of the time to be conscious of softening the diphthong, at least removing it or at least softening it. Jim, go ahead, please. Try it.
Hey, glottal attack.
That's right, glottal attack, not win and release. Okay, it came out as an A and then started shaping into an E. Hold the vowel, Jim. Hold the vowel. You've heard me say that. When I say hold the vowel, that means hold that coloration of an A for 5 seconds. Don't let it morph into something else. A. Good one. A.
It felt nice and solid. I mean, for an F4 for me, that was pretty solid.
Well, I know of that. I mean, and you've got compression and everything else, and the pitch is right and everything else. That's because of our workflow. So all this other stuff we could have spent an hour talking about is in line. We're at the end of a long journey here. I mean, you literally have coordinated and motor skilled about 8 things here. Okay, so you know, hats off. Just darn it, give us an A, not an E. Hey, steak and eggs, steak and eggs, steak and eggs. You might try that, Jim. Steak and eggs,
steak and eggs, steak and eggs, steak and eggs.
There you go. Sustain the A so that you can sit in it and work on it, right? Steak and eggs! Steak and eggs!
Steak and eggs! Steak! Jim, you're doing great. You're doing great. This is good training. All right, go through your flow quickly because we have 5 steps to get to, and you don't want to go there. And then when you get to the end, when you shape the vowel, when you release the product, give us A, brother, and be conscious of holding the A. Hold that pure vowel. Hold that pure vowel. Don't subconsciously roll into the diphthong. Okay, let me just turn this light back on. Hold on.
Jim, I was only going to give you 20 minutes, but I'm going a full hour just because
I know. I see that.
I know, dude. You got to pay me more. All right. So,
well, I do appreciate your effort and time.
Well, you know, and Jim, I appreciate you allowing me to share this with the world. That I know that you know that I'm doing that, and you know that's good business. That gives us more value. So I appreciate that, Jim. And hats off to you for being brave and training in front of the world.
We'll see.
Jim, people are rooting for you all over the world right now. I mean, they literally are. They've gotten to know you, Jim.
Or either that or running, screaming, like one or the other.
I mean, they started off running and screaming, but as they see you not giving up and making progress, they become, you know, sort of like the last scene, the scene of Rocky when he's running in Philadelphia, where all the kids are chasing him, you know, like following him because they're starting to feel inspired. That's you, Jim.
Well, I hope so. That would be great. Great. All right, now I forgot what I'm doing.
We're rooting for you. You're doing a quack and release onset, and the training vowel will be A, and therefore, when we get to the end of the workflow journey, we're going to hear an A, not an E.
Oh.
Yeah, better.
Okay.
better. That was about 50% E, 50% A, maybe 60% A. That was better.
Okay. Should I try it again?
Yeah. What you might do is steak and eggs, steak and eggs. Oh, yeah. That's what we call a compound routine, where we take two different routines, we bring them together in one session. All right. So steak and eggs, steak and eggs, steak and eggs 3 times. Then your workflow into an A. Steak and eggs, steak and eggs, steak and eggs 3 times. We're building motor skills and muscle memory. And then into the Quack and release onset. Go, Jim.
Steak and eggs, steak, eggs, steak, eggs.
Again, about 40-60, favoring A. Do it again. Steak and eggs, steak and eggs, steak and eggs, steak and eggs. Workflow. Go.
Steak and eggs, steak and eggs, steak and eggs.
All right, good. It's more A-ish. And then what I would do with you is I would do a compound workout that would be, I would do a compound workout. Write this down, Jim. You got pen and paper?
Yeah.
Jim, do you know what this is?
Shop.
You know what it is. I've taught you before. What is this, Jim?
I'm not sure. I'm going blank.
Jim, it's the Tough Love Chopper.
Oh, okay. All right.
You knew that. Come on,
It's coming
Jim.
back to me. It's coming
We've been
back.
together for so long now. Don't let me down.
Okay.
All right, write this down. Quack and release onset. Number 1, quack and release onset workflow. Geek out on it. Okay. Maybe even take that off the page and copy it. Okay. Write it down on your phone or something like that, so that as you're walking down the street or where you just put your eyes on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So just do that, and then if it's not giving you exactly what you want, if it's not hitting your standards, then you're going to do 2 compound routines. All right.
So I'm going to write down the compound routines.
Yep. To assist in the workflow, particularly with you, to assist in getting that A at the end, tuning a nice A. You're going to do, you're going to say steak and eggs, sustaining and tuning the A of steak and the A of eggs 3 times. Okay. Just to kind of, it's a way of getting into the vowel. You understand that?
Yes, I wrote it down.
Then you'll immediately go into the workflow and hold that and try to get back to the same vowel that you just colorized 5 seconds ago. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
That's compound routine number 1.
The other one we were doing the hitting it with the soft hammer.
That's right. So the compound routine number 2 would be attack and release onsets, glottal attacks into A. Glottal attacks, which will give you 2 benefits. It'll reinforce the A, and it will also strengthen focal fold closure because it's a glottal attack. All right.
Glottal attacks into
you
the
do that 5 times. Then into the onset workflow. All right.
Yes. Then do the Q and R workflow.
That's right. Q and R workflow by itself. If you're not happy with it and you need to dig in, Q and R workflow, a compound routine, Q and R that is the steak and eggs and Q and R workflow combined. And compound routine number 2, glottal attacks into the A combined. One more note, please. We'll be very conscious of doing this. It's okay to do this on any note, especially the head voice stuff. Okay, that's for sure. But if you want to get the most productivity out of this right now, you will do any note you want, but make sure that whatever you do, that you make E4, F4, F sharp 4, and G4 a priority.
Right. I'm going to focus on E4.
F and F sharp are really when you get the G, things start loosening up and actually gets easier at G. So it's really E, F, and F sharp. Those are the ones that are difficult.
Yes. Okay.
And then how do you know when you're walking down the street, when you're not in your studio and you don't have a keyboard, how do you know you are on an E and an F?
I would think that there must be some pitch pipe app on the phone.
Absolutely perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Download a little pitch pipe app, a little piano thing on app, or a good old fashioned, whistle thing. Keep it in your pocket. Okay. Because we want to make sure that whatever motor skills that we're building and we're drilling, we're grilling and drilling into the body, into the muscle memory, into the motor skills, whatever it is that we're doing this. And this is a great idea, but make sure you're doing it on the right frequency.
Right.
If you're not doing it on the right frequency, you're just slopping around between, on micro notes, between real notes on the keyboard, then arguably you're building motor skills. I mean, you're still going to get benefit from it, but it's not going to be terrible, but arguably you're building motor skills on the wrong frequency.
Yeah, I definitely want to focus in on these notes because because there's so much, I just feel like if I could get these, everything's going to open up,
As they are for all male singers.
Yeah.
One degree or another. A little easier for some people, more difficult for others. It's a spectrum, but yeah, we all have to figure out how to get grip, how to get traction on E, F, and F sharp. Okay, and this is quack and release and glottal attacks and clever little ideas like what we worked on today is how you get there. And sirens, Jim. Sirens so that you can put the thing in context and get some movement. All right. So that's it, Jim. And
that was great. That's great.
Yep. That was a good lesson.
Yeah. Now this will be on the you're going to post this on the training page, the private classes, training class, the online class. All right. Good. Cause I'm going to have to review this.
Yes, I will be posting this on the live training playlist at YouTube and inside the resource page for the live training program. Yes.
Okay. All right, great. All right, so see you in a month.
Yep.
All right. Thanks a lot. This was great. This is great. I feel good.
You did a great job, Jim. You're a good student.
Thank you.
I love your enthusiasm. I really like how you're like really into it and you're really trying hard, and it's good. It's good.
I sing a snippet of the song at the end of that video. I don't know if you want to check it out, like 20 seconds of the song or something. The last 30 seconds of the video.
Yeah, sure. I do. Yeah.
Just like a verse and a chorus.
Yeah, that'd be a nice little closure. Let's do that.
I mean, this is from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Looking back, look here.
That's the beginning.
Looking back. Is that the cue right there?
Yeah, that's the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like it. Okay, I already like it. Yeah, I mean, you're a good singer, Jim, by the way. Well, I guess we're all here. I mean, it's over my shoulder. I can see that look in your eye. I never dreamed it could be over. I like this right here, Jim. I never dreamed. That's really good, Jim. That's not an easy move right there, by the way. You got that E, you got that closed vowel E there, kind of jumping up above the passaggio. That was nicely done.
Never dreamed
I like that.
it could look in your eye. I never dreamed it could be.
That's a perfect E, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, notice how you have a horizontal position. You retracted your tongue just a touch, which is what we do when you do an E. And it had compression, by the way. You know, it's interesting. We're working on this workout in a slow, meticulous way, and we're struggling to get the closure and the compression. But when you put it, after all that work, when you then put it into a song, sometimes it comes to life. It's very
I mean, I'm completely not thinking. I'm just trying to remember lyrics and try to hit the right pitches.
Yeah, and that's what we want. And so, I mean, actually, that E is compressed.
Okay, good.
Which is F sharp to F. Those are the notes, and it's fully compressed. So if you're struggling on this in the workouts, that's fine. They're meant to be difficult. They're meant to challenge the body. That doesn't necessarily mean that when you then jump into a song, that the same notes will be a challenge. Sometimes they in a song, because of where you're coming from, where you're going to, the context, the vowels and the consonants and things that you're working with in the lyrics, different variables will in addition to just having fun and just singing the song and being sort of free from the workout experience, results in it coming together, just like we're hearing with Jim here. This is a good example.
Yeah, I'll put in a quick plug, which is I couldn't come close to singing this before voice lessons, not even close. So even if it's not perfect, this is a huge improvement from before I was studying with Coach Robert.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Jim. He's right about that.
The only way I could sing these notes was with falsetto. That was it.
Yeah, windy falsetto, pushing or breaking. Yeah, it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. You're right, Jim. And to be completely honest with you, Jim, when I just heard this,
I never dreamed it could.
When I heard that, the first thing I thought to myself was, literally, I thought to myself, he couldn't do that when we first met. I was like, wow, that's actually real, tangible, solid, evident improvement. Yeah, it's cool, Jim.
Yeah, the second section, which is in here, actually goes up to a G sharp.
Be over. I never wanted to say goodbye. Looking back over my shoulder with an aching deep in my heart. I wish we were starting over. Oh, instead of drifting so far apart.
Thanks, Jim.
Everybody told me you were leaving. Funny, I should be the last to know. Baby, please tell me that I'm dreaming. I just never want to let you go.
I went a little flat a couple places.
Yeah, you did on go. Go, 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 go. Try that onset. Go, 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 go.
Let me just get the right notes. Go, go, go,
go, go,
go, go, go, go.
Well, anyway, Jim.
Anyway, that's it. That's
Good. Jim, I'm glad you made us listen to that, because it shows you progress, and I'm really happy for you. And I thought that sounded pretty decent, dude. It was more than decent. It was decent plus. It was like a B plus. Yeah, dude, that's not easy. All that stuff up there, that's on the notes we've been talking about. Those are all Fs and F sharps, and so Great job,
Yeah,
Jim.
good. I mean, this singer Paul Carrick, the guy that sang with Squeeze and Mike and the Mechanics, like he, every one of his notes is like beautiful. You know what I mean? So I kind of use this song as a training song, because if I could sing this to the point where people, especially a voice teacher, says, "Wow, that was pretty good." I feel like I've covered a lot of ground, and there's a lot of the songs that I could probably sing.
Every student has a song like that, including me. I have songs like that. Lights by Journey is sort of my go-to Robert challenge training song. Tickle the Flame by Queensryche, Robert training challenge song. Sometimes I fumble, and every once in a while I nail it, and so yeah, no, it's good. Everybody has one of those. Jim, I've got a lot to do. I got to go for a run. I got to do all kinds of things.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you taking the time. This was great.
It was good. It was good. Thank you, Jim. I'll see you in a month. You have your routines, your compound routines, and yeah, man, keep going. You're getting results.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a great month.
Cool. You too, buddy. Bye. It's good.